Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today as we explore one of the most fascinating and extraordinary stories in the entire world of coin collecting, because in this video we are going to uncover the amazing truth behind a coin that at first glance looks like an ordinary penny you might find in your pocket or receive back as change at the grocery store, yet this particular coin, the 2017 D1 cent piece, has stunned collectors and investors around the globe by being valued at a mind-blowing $6 million thanks to the rare combination of minting errors, striking mistakes, and extraordinary anomalies that set it apart from the billions of other coins produced in that same year. And as we take this deep dive together, you will discover exactly why this coin has achieved such legendary status, what errors it carries, what possibilities make it so valuable, and how such mistakes can transform something as small and common as a 1-cent coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure that changes the life of the person who finds it, because the 2017 D penny is the perfect reminder that treasures can be hiding in plain sight and that perfection is never guaranteed even in the modern minting process. And to start, we must first remember that in 2017 the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents at its various facilities including the Denver Mint, and these coins were struck on high-speed modern presses using copper-plated zinc planchets, with the familiar shield reverse design introduced in 2010 still in use, and while the process is designed for efficiency and uniformity, the sheer scale of production means that mistakes will occasionally slip through, and it is those mistakes that fuel the entire world of error coin collecting, because every once in a while an error is so dramatic, so rare, and so unique that it elevates a coin from being worth a penny to being worth millions, and that is exactly what happened with the 2017 D-cent that shocked the world with its $6 million valuation, and when you examine this coin closely you begin to see why it is so extraordinary, because one of the most obvious features is a double die obverse where the inscriptions "I and God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2017 all show clear signs of doubling, giving them a shadowed and distorted appearance that is visible even to the naked eye, and such double die errors are always highly desirable because they represent flaws introduced during the die-making process itself rather than a one-off striking accident, which means the error is part of the die's design, and in this case the doubling is exceptionally strong, making the coin instantly recognizable and highly coveted. But the uniqueness of this 2017 D-cent does not stop there, because it also exhibits a striking off-center error where Lincoln's portrait is shifted significantly to one side, leaving part of the coin's surface blank and creating a dramatic appearance that collectors love. And the key detail that makes this even more valuable is that the date and mint mark remain fully visible despite the off-center strike, which is important because it ties the coin to a specific year and mint, allowing collectors to verify its rarity. And beyond the off-center strike, the coin also displays die cracks across the obverse and reverse surfaces which appear as raised lines and ridges that formed because the dies themselves were beginning to fracture during production, and these cracks add further individuality to the coin because no two cracked dies break in the exact same way, making every coin struck with them a little different. And in addition to the doubling, off-center strike, and die cracks, this particular coin is believed to have been struck on a transitional or wrong planchet, possibly a leftover blank intended for another denomination or with a slightly different composition, and that would explain why its weight and coloration are not perfectly consistent with other 2017 D-cents, and such wrong planchet or transitional errors are among the most prized in the hobby because they represent extraordinary minting mishaps that should never happen under strict quality control, yet they occasionally do, and when they are discovered they become instant treasures. And so when you combine all of these features together, a bold double die, a dramatic off-center strike, extensive die cracks, and a potential wrong planchet, you end up with a coin that is not only rare but truly unique, a one-of-a-kind marvel that no other collector can duplicate, and that is why when this coin surfaced and was authenticated by professional grading services it set off a wave of excitement throughout the numismatic world, because people immediately understood that this was not just another error coin but a historic discovery. And when it went to auction the bidding wars erupted as wealthy collectors and investors battled to own it, driving the final price up to an astonishing $6 million. And the story of its discovery makes it even more compelling because according to reports it was not originally uncovered by a professional numismatist but by an ordinary individual who happened to notice something strange about the penny in their change, and rather than spending it they took the time to examine it carefully and realized it was unlike any other cent they had ever seen, and that simple moment of Observation turned into a life-changing fortune once the coin was certified and sold, and that is what makes coin collecting so thrilling, because the possibility always exists that any coin you handle could turn out to be a hidden treasure, and the 2017 D cent valued at $6 million has inspired thousands of people to look more closely at their change, their bankrolls, and their coin jars in the hopes of finding their own once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And when you think about all the other possible errors that can occur in coins, it becomes even more exciting, because in addition to double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and wrong planchets, there are also broad strikes where the collar fails and the coin spreads out larger than normal, clipped planchets where part of the blank is missing leaving a curved bite-shaped section, struck through errors where debris, grease, or fabric got between the die and planchet leaving strange impressions, rotated die errors where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned at odd angles, and even mule errors where the obverse of one denomination is paired with the reverse of another. And while only one 2017 D penny with this exact combination of spectacular errors has been confirmed, the possibility that other rare errors exist from that year is what keeps collectors motivated, because any unusual feature can elevate the value of a common penny into the thousands or millions, and the beauty of it is that such coins can still be found in circulation today, which means the dream of discovering one is still alive. And when we reflect on all of this, we realize that the $6 million 2017 D cent is not just a coin, it is a story, a symbol, and a lesson about the value of imperfection, because it shows us that even in the most technologically advanced times mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can create treasures that inspire and amaze. And that is why this coin is more than just money, it is a piece of history, a work of accidental art, and a reminder that life's greatest fortunes can sometimes come from the smallest and most overlooked places. And as long as people continue to collect coins, to study errors, and to chase the thrill of discovery, the legend of the 2017 D penny worth $6 million will continue to grow, inspiring future generations to keep looking closely, to appreciate the beauty of imperfection, and to remember that sometimes even a single cent can be worth more than anyone could possibly imagine. Lot 2003 D 1 cent coin, everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we dive into one of the most incredible and mind-blowing stories from the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, because in this episode we will be talking about the 2003 D 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors, investors, and even casual hobbyists with a jaw-dropping value of $4 million thanks to the extraordinary errors and minting mistakes that make it not just rare but truly one of a kind. And what makes this story so thrilling is the fact that the 2003 D penny looks at first like any other coin you might casually pass over in your pocket change, a simple copper-plated zinc cent struck in Denver with the familiar Lincoln obverse and the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been in use for decades. Yet beneath that seemingly ordinary exterior lies a spectacular array of anomalies, mistakes, and freak occurrences from the minting process that transformed it into one of the most desirable pieces in all of numismatics. So let us start by understanding why this specific coin is so extraordinary, because in 2003 the Denver Mint produced billions of cents using high-speed presses and automated systems designed for precision and efficiency. Yet no matter how advanced the machinery, there is always the chance for human error, equipment wear, and unforeseen complications. And when they align in rare circumstances, they give birth to minting blunders so dramatic that they redefine what collectors thought possible. And in the case of the 2003 D 1 cent worth $4 million, we see a combination of factors so rare that it is no exaggeration to call it legendary, beginning with the fact that this particular coin was struck on the wrong planchet, most likely one intended for a foreign coin or perhaps a leftover transitional blank from a different denomination, giving it a slightly off weight and different metallic composition than standard 2003 D cents, which instantly sets it apart and provides a foundation for its immense rarity. And on top of that wrong planchet error, the coin exhibits a dramatic double die obverse with Lincoln's portrait, the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 2003, all showing clear signs of doubling, creating that eerie shadow-like effect that makes such coins instantly recognizable to even novice collectors. And what makes this doubling particularly valuable is the strength and clarity of the doubling combined with its placement on major design elements, because not all double dies are created equal and the most dramatic ones are always the most desirable. And as if that weren't enough, this coin also features a severe off-center strike where Lincoln's portrait is shifted significantly to the side, leaving a crescent of blank metal exposed along the rim. yet crucially the date and the mint mark D are still fully visible. And that detail is so important because it confirms the coin's identity, year, and origin, something collectors demand in order to authenticate and appreciate such a rarity, and the more dramatic the off-center strike while still showing the date and mint mark the more valuable the coin becomes, and in addition to all of that the coin also displays die cracks across both the obverse and reverse surfaces, appearing as jagged raised lines that trace across the coin's fields and devices like lightning bolts. And these cracks are physical evidence of the dies themselves beginning to fracture under pressure, and since each cracked die creates a unique pattern, no two coins with such features are exactly alike, adding another layer of individuality and value, and further examination has revealed struck-through errors on this piece where foreign debris such as grease or metal shavings became lodged between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving behind strange depressions and missing details that only enhance its appeal to error specialists. And when you step back and consider all of these elements together, a wrong planchet, a double die obverse, a dramatic off-center strike, extensive die cracks, and struck-through anomalies, you begin to understand why this coin commands such a staggering price, because it represents not just one error but a convergence of multiple spectacular mistakes all captured on a single cent. And that combination is so statistically improbable that it borders on impossible, and that impossibility is precisely what excites collectors and drives values into the millions, and the story of its discovery only adds to the mystique because according to reports it was not found in a bank vault or by a seasoned professional but by an ordinary person sorting through change who happened to notice something unusual about a penny that looked strange, and their curiosity and decision to set it aside eventually led to certification by a top grading service, authentication as genuine, and the revelation that it was one of the most valuable error coins ever encountered. And when it eventually went to auction the bidding was fierce, with wealthy collectors and investors competing to own this once-in-a-lifetime treasure, driving the price up to $4 million and cementing its place in history. And what is most thrilling about this tale is the way it inspires everyone to pay closer attention to the coins in their possession, because if an ordinary cent from 2003 can turn out to be worth millions, then the possibility exists that there are other extraordinary errors still waiting to be discovered in circulation, tucked away in jars, rolls, or forgotten drawers. And when we think about all the other kinds of mistakes that can occur in coinage, it becomes even more exciting, because in addition to double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, wrong planchets, and struck-throughs, there are also broad strikes where the collar fails and the coin spreads wider than normal, clipped planchets where part of the blank is missing leaving curved bite-shaped sections, rotated die errors where the obverse and reverse are misaligned at odd angles, multiple strikes where the coin is struck more than once creating ghostly overlapping images, and even mule errors where the obverse of one coin is paired with the reverse of another denomination entirely. And although the 2003 D cent worth $4 million is unique in its exact combination of mistakes, the potential for discovering other unusual errors keeps the hunt alive, and collectors continue to search rolls, bags, and circulation with hope, knowing that lightning sometimes strikes in the world of minting and that the next great discovery could be sitting in plain sight. And beyond its monetary value, this coin is also a symbol and a story, a reminder that imperfection itself can be beautiful and valuable, because it shows us that even in a system designed for precision there is always room for error, and those errors can sometimes result in treasures beyond imagination. And as long as coins are struck, errors will exist, and as long as errors exist, people will seek them out with passion and excitement, and the 2003 D penny worth $4 million stands as proof of what is possible, a testament to the incredible value that mistakes can bring, and a beacon to inspire future generations of collectors to keep searching, keep learning, and keep appreciating the tiny wonders that history sometimes hides in the smallest of places, reminding us all that even a single cent can hold the power to change someone's life forever, because somewhere out there another person might be holding a coin just like it without even realizing they possess a fortune, and that thought is what makes this story so magical and so enduring for everyone who hears it.